Welcome to Module 10 of 11 modules of the Certificate 4 of Project Management course presented by Charter Australia. Module 10, Program Coordination and Control. Whilst the project manager has ultimate responsibility for the way the project is run and the outcomes it achieves, it is up to the project coordinator to ensure that the task is made easier, usually through assisting with the monitoring and control of the project. A project coordinator role may be across all aspects of the project, or it may be focused on one or more specific aspects such as scheduling, financials, or quality. As with any project role, the project coordinator must ensure that the role is clearly defined and agreed with the project manager before commencing the project work. What is controlling? It's monitoring and measuring the project status and correcting the project course if significant variances are identified. The Project Management Plan, or PMP, is the document which describes the monitoring and control procedures. The subplans, or baseline plans, which support the PMP are the bases against which project progress is measured. Controlling's all about managing the key project controls: scope, time, cost, and quality. This is a delicate balancing act. For example, if the project is running behind schedule, a decision needs to be made to either obtain approval to extend the schedule, bring on more resources, work overtime, or reduce scope. Each option must be carefully considered and a recommendation made to the sponsor. The outcome will depend very much upon the project itself and the priorities associated with it. For example, extending the schedule may not be possible if you are required by law to launch your project by a particular date in order to comply with legislation. Controlling requires a proactive approach. It's important to identify problems and variances as soon as possible. Hoping things will improve is fraught with danger, as they usually get worse, resulting in bigger problems. Remember that a project is a team effort, and your managers are there to guide. They would prefer to know about problems as soon as possible so that remedial actions can be put in place quickly. This will normally result in a more satisfying outcome in terms of stakeholder satisfaction and project success. We will now review key control mechanisms for each knowledge area. Scope control. The PMP describes the change control process which is required to ensure that any changes within the project are documented, analysed, approved, and incorporated into the necessary project control documents, such as the schedule and cost management system. The scope statement is the key baseline document for scope control. Time control. The PMP describes how the schedule will be updated and how progress will be reported. The dates in the baseline schedule must be compared against the actual and forecast dates for every activity in the project as it progresses. Cost control. The PMP describes how expenditure will be recorded and compared against the budget. The predicted expenditure in the budget must be compared against the actual and forecast expenditure. Quality control. The PMP describes what quality assurance processes will be incorporated into the project in order to produce high quality deliverables. It also describes the quality control points and key acceptance criteria. At the quality control points, quality is checked and poor quality needs to be rectified. All quality activities, defects, as well as the actions taken to rectify problems must be documented and reported. Often specialized test coordinators are employed to be responsible for this work. HR control. The PMP describes how the team will be managed and how team performance will be assessed. Formal and informal staff appraisals are the key control activities for HR. Communications control. The PMP describes the communication strategy for the project, and the communications plan describes the key communications controls such as meetings and reports. It's important to ensure that these processes are working effectively, as they are the most important methods of implementing project control. Risk control. The PMP describes the project risk management process. The risk register is the risk control document. This must be monitored and updated throughout the project in order to control current and emerging risks. Contract or procurement control. The PMP describes the project procurement processes, and the procurement plan describes how each item will be procured. The contract associated with each procurement is the key control document. The project coordinator must ensure that each vendor is delivering goods or services according to the contract conditions. The most important processes for project control are: firstly, change control, which is managing changes to the original project scope or other baselines in order to avoid scope creep. Refer Module 3 to revise the change control process. Secondly, progress or status reporting, which is reporting progress to key stakeholders to ensure that project progress, problems, and any other recommended solutions are communicated. The project sponsor or steering committee is the highest point of control for the project. As discussed in Module 8, a project progress or status report must be a concise summary of the project status for the period being reported. The most important items which should be contained in a progress or status report are: key achievements, that is, any important milestones achieved since the last report. Whether the project is on schedule, and if not, why not. Whether the expenditure is according to budget, and if not, why not. Any important problems which need to be brought to the attention of the sponsor or key stakeholders. Any current or new risks which need to be managed. And recommended solutions to any variances or problems. If there are any high-impact project issues, they should be discussed in person with the manager prior to distributing the progress report. No one likes to be hit with unpleasant surprises. Prior communication provides space for thought and further consideration of a solution. Some of the most common reasons for failure when it comes to controlling projects are: a poor PMP. It must have a clear plan and have good control mechanisms. Poor organisation. The activities of team members must be organised and communicated. Poor reports. The plan and progress reports must be honest and timely. Poor communication. We need well-defined and formalised communication, such as regular meetings. The project manager has responsibility but no formal authority. This is a common problem which is addressed by having a strong and supportive sponsor. And lastly, the customer always believes they can change things at any time at no extra cost. It's important to manage the client in this regard by being very strict about change control. This ends Module 10, Project Coordination and Control. Please read Module 10 in your UNEP textbook. You now need to complete the following Project Coordination and Control assignment for your case study project and submit it to your tutor. The status report. Please refer to the case study assignment instructions and supporting templates.